Have you ever looked at a simple Washington quarter and thought, this could be worth a fortune? Well, you're about to discover that some of these coins are more than just pocket change. They're treasures that can fetch over $10,000. Today, we're counting down the top 5 most rare and valuable Washington quarter dollars, so grab your collection and get ready to inspect every detail. 1965 Washington quarter dollars. Because this isn't just any quarter, it's a legendary 1965 Washington quarter with rare errors that have collectors going wild. From transitional errors to striking mistakes, these coins have created a frenzy in the numismatic world. Stick around to the end of the video as we break down why these coins are so valuable, what makes them special, and how you can spot one in your collection. Could you be holding a jackpot coin without even realizing it? Let's find out. History and background. The year 1965 was a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage. This was the year the U.S. Mint transitioned from 90% silver coins to copper-nickel-clad coins due to the rising cost of silver. However, during this transition, several errors occurred, resulting in some of the rarest and most valuable quarters ever discovered. The most famous error is the 1965 silver quarter. These quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver plankets, blanks from 1964. Instead of the new copper-nickel-clad plankets introduced in 1965, this incredible mistake has made the 1965 silver quarter a highly sought-after rarity. Additionally, there are other striking errors, including off-center strikes, double dies, and planchette errors, which can significantly increase the value of a 1965 Washington quarter. Value of 1965 error Washington quarters. 1 1965 silver quarter. These quarters can sell for staggering amounts at auction. In top mint state MS condition, they fetch it over $7,000. Even in circulated condition, they can sell for $2,000, $5,000, depending on the coin's grade and overall appeal to double die errors. A 1965 Washington quarter with a strong double die obverse or reverse can command $1,000 to $3,000 or more at auctions, particularly if the doubling is pronounced. 3 off-center strikes and broad strikes. These errors are favorites among collectors. Depending on the severity of the off-center strike, these coins can sell for $500 to $2,500 for other planchette errors. Planchette errors, such as a quarter struck on a dime planchette, are extremely rare and valuable, often selling for $5,000 to $10,000. How to identify a rare 1965 Washington quarter? Silver test. A genuine 1965 silver quarter will weigh approximately 6.25 grams, like a 1960 for silver quarter, instead of the standard 5.67 grams of a clad quarter. Use a precision scale to check the weight. Edge examination. Silver quarters will have a solid silver edge, while clad quarters show a copper core. Look for doubling. Inspect the lettering, numbers, and Washington's profile for signs of doubling using a magnifying glass or loupe. Seek expert grading. If you suspect you have a rare 1965 quarter, consider sending it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication and valuation. 1966 Washington quarter dollars. Imagine finding one of these rare coins in your pocket change, tucked away in an old jar, or hidden in a forgotten drawer. These aren't just ordinary coins. Some 1966 Washington quarters have mind-blowing errors and unique features that make collectors willing to pay a fortune for them. Stay with us until the end of this video as we uncover the secrets behind these rare coins, their history, the incredible values they can command, and most importantly, how to spot one in your collection. Could you be sitting on a hidden jackpot without even knowing it? Let's dive in. History and background. The 1960s were a fascinating time for U.S. coinage, and 1966 was no exception. Following the switch from 90% silver to copper-nickel-clad coins in 1965, the U.S. Mint faced significant challenges, including the need to meet massive production demands and eliminate coin shortages. To deter hoarding, the Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967. As a result, all 1966 quarters lack a mint mark, regardless of whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But that doesn't mean they're all the same. Mistakes and errors during the minting process created some of the most valuable and rare coins in circulation today. Valuable 1966 error quarters. 1. Double die errors. A double die obverse DDO or reverse DDR is one of the most desirable errors. Look for doubling on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. These coins can sell for $500 to $3,000 or more, depending on the strength of the doubling. 2. Off-center strikes. Coins struck off-center, with part of the design missing, are a favorite among collectors. The more dramatic the off-center error, the higher the value, ranging from $300 to $2,500. 3. Transitional planchette errors. Some 1966 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver plankets from 1964 or on foreign coin blanks. These rare coins can sell for $5,000 to $10,000 or more for clipped planchette errors. A clipped planchette, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a minting error, can be worth $100 to $1,500, depending on the severity and condition. 5. Struck on the wrong planchette. A 1966 quarter accidentally struck on a dime or nickel planchette is an extremely rare and valuable error. These coins can command $3,000 to $7,000 or more at auctions. How to identify a rare 1966 quarter. Inspect the design closely. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check for doubling on letters, numbers, and Washington's profile. Check the weight. A standard clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter will weigh 6.25 grams. Use a precise scale to confirm. Look for edge variations. A silver quarter will have a solid silver edge, while clad quarters have a copper core visible on the edge. Examine for striking errors. Off-center strikes, clipped plankets, or unusual planchette materials can significantly boost a coin's value. 1967 Washington quarter dollars. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story behind the 1967 Washington quarter, a coin from a critical era in U.S. minting history. From rare transitional errors to dramatic mint mistakes, this coin has secrets that can turn a humble 25 cents into a collector's gold mine. Stay tuned to the very end of this video, as we'll uncover the key details about these valuable coins, what makes them so rare, and most importantly, how you can identify one. Could a fortune be hiding in your coin jar? Let's get started. History and background. 1967 was another remarkable year for U.S. coinage. The mint was still recovering from the coin shortages of the early 1960s and had eliminated mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967 to discourage hoarding. As a result, all 1967 quarters lack a mint mark, making it impossible to tell where they were struck: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, what makes the 1967 Washington quarter so special are the errors and anomalies that emerged during its production. These mistakes, whether by accident or oversight, have created some of the most valuable coins of this era. Valuable 1967 error quarters. 1. Double die errors. The double die obverse DDO or reverse DDR errors are among the most coveted. Look for doubling on Washington's profile, the date, or inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust. These coins can fetch anywhere from $500 to $5,000 or more, depending on the strength of the doubling and the coin's condition. 2. Off-center strikes. Off-center strike errors, where part of the coin's design is missing, are eye-catching and valuable. Coins with significant off-center strikes can sell for $300 to $2,500. 3. Transitional planchette errors. Some 1967 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver plankets from 1964 or on foreign coin blanks. These are the holy grail of 1967 quarters, with auction prices soaring to $10,000 or more for clipped plankets. A clipped planchette, where a portion of the coin is missing due to an error during production, can be worth $100 to $1,500, depending on the size and condition of the clip. 5. Wrong planchette strikes. Quarters struck on a dime or nickel planchette are extremely rare. These coins are prized by collectors and can sell for $3,000 to $7,000 plus at auction. How to identify a rare 1967 Washington quarter. Inspect for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to carefully examine the lettering, numbers, and Washington's profile for signs of doubling. Weigh your coin. A standard clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs around 6.25 grams, it might be a silver planchette error. Check the edge. A silver quarter will have a solid silver edge, while clad quarters show a copper core. Look for odd strikes. Off-center designs, clipped plankets, or coins struck on the wrong planchette are all signs of rare errors. 1968 Washington Quarter Dollar. From minting errors to rare varieties, the 1968 Washington Quarter is a coin that could leave you stunned at its value. Whether it's a double die error or an ultra-rare transitional mistake, these coins have fetched jaw-dropping prices at auctions. Stick with us to the end of this video as we reveal the fascinating history of the 1968 quarter, its rarest errors, and exactly how you can identify one in your collection. Is your next big payday hiding in your pocket? Let's find out. History and background. The year 1968 marked the return of mint marks to U.S. coins, after the mint had removed them from 1965 to 1967 to discourage hoarding. For the first time, quarters were struck at the San Francisco Mint for proof coins, alongside the usual production in Philadelphia and Denver. The 1968 quarters are made from copper-nickel clad composition, weighing 5.67 grams. While these quarters were mass-produced, the errors and varieties that occurred during minting have made certain coins from this year highly valuable to collectors. Valuable 1968 error quarters. 1. Double die errors. Look for doubling on the obverse front of the coin, particularly on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. Double die errors DDO or DDR can fetch anywhere from $500 to $3,000 plus, depending on the severity and condition of the coin. To off-center strikes, off-center errors, where part of the design is missing, are highly collectible. These coins are worth $300 to $2,500, depending on the percentage of the strike that's off-center. 3. Transitional planchette errors. A small number of 1968 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover silver plankets from the pre-1965 era. These rare transitional errors can sell for $5,000 to $10,000 plus at auctions for clipped plankets. A clipped planchette error, where a portion of the coin is missing, can be worth $100 to $1,500, depending on the size and clarity of the clip. 5. Proof coins with errors. Proof quarters struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark can sometimes have striking errors, such as die cracks or doubling. These coins can fetch $1,000 to $5,000 plus when verified as authentic errors. 6. Wrong planchette errors. Some 1968 quarters were struck on dime or foreign coin plankets, making them incredibly rare. These coins can command $3,000 to $7,000 or more. How to identify a rare 1968 quarter. Look for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to examine the date, lettering, and Washington's profile for doubling. Weigh the coin. A standard 1968 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more, around 6.25 grams, it might be a rare silver transitional error. Check for off-center strikes. Any missing portions of the design could indicate a valuable error. Inspect for clipped plankets. Look at the edge of the coin for clean, rounded cuts. Proof coins. If you have a 1968 test proof quarter, check for unusual die cracks, doubling, or other striking errors. 1969 Washington Quarter Dollar. Could this unassuming 25-cent piece be your ticket to a small fortune? Stick around as we uncover the secrets of the 1969 Washington Quarter, reveal its most valuable error types, and teach you how to spot one that could change your life. History and background. 1969 was an important year for U.S. coinage as the nation's economy stabilized after the transition from silver to clad coinage in 1965. These quarters were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, San Francisco S Mint Mark for proof coins. The coins were composed of copper-nickel clad material and weighed 5.67 grams. While millions were produced, errors and unusual varieties have made certain 1969 quarters incredibly valuable today. Valuable 1969 error quarters. 1. Double die errors. Look for doubling on the obverse front of the coin, particularly on the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust, a double die burst DDO can fetch $1,000 to $5,000, depending on its condition and the strength of the doubling. 2 off-center strikes. Quarters with a portion of the design missing due to an off-center strike are both fascinating and valuable. These can sell for $300 to $2,000 plus, depending on the percentage of the design that's off-center. 3 transitional planchette errors. Some 1969 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver plankets from earlier years. These transitional errors are incredibly rare and can sell for $10,000 or more at auctions for clipped plankets. A clipped planchette, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing, is a striking and valuable error. Coins with this error can be worth $100 to $1,500, depending on the size of the clip and the coin's condition. 5 wrong planchette errors. A 1969 quarter struck on a dime planchette or another foreign coin blank is extremely rare and highly sought after. These coins can fetch $3,000 to $8,000 at auction. 6 proof errors 1969s. Proof quarters struck at the San Francisco Mint with errors, such as doubling, die cracks, or other striking mistakes, can command $1,000 to $5,000 plus or more, depending on the error's visibility and rarity. How to identify a rare 1969 quarter. Check for doubling. Use a magnifying glass to examine the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust for signs of doubling. Weigh your coin. A standard 1969 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it weighs closer to 6.25 grams, it might be struck on a silver planchette. Inspect for off-center strikes. Look for designs that are shifted or missing due to a misaligned strike. Look for clipped plankets. Examine the coin's edge for clean, rounded cuts or missing sections. Proof coins. If you have a 1969s proof coin, check for doubling, die cracks, or unusual features.